Hi FlossTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Robin. This is my channel, Lady Robins, and this is a place where I talk about my cross stitching. So sit back, enjoy. If you are a new viewer and subscriber, welcome. I'm happy that you're here and that you've joined me. And if you're a returning friend and subscriber, welcome back. I'm just as happy to see you as well. Today, happy fall. It is the first day of fall. It's September 21st, and I can't remember exactly. I didn't check my notes before I started filming what FlossTube number this is, but I'll put it in the description box so we can all remember together when we look back on this video. I have got a number of things to share with you today. I have 4 fully finished objects, FFO'S. I am really excited to show you these FFO'S. 1 I finished myself, and 3 I took in for professional framing, and the place where I got my framing done did a spectacular job. I can hardly wait to show it off to you. Before we get rocking and rolling, let's have a beverage, shall we? I always like to start my floss tubes with our mug of the day, and today we are in one of the Disneyland mugs. In case you can't quite get a glimpse of that, this is the Enchanted Tiki Room mug. I got this a few years ago. It was a very limited edition. It sold out in something crazy like, I don't know, I might be making it up, but there's a 6 in it somewhere. It was either 6 weeks or 6 months, but I think it was 6 weeks. It went crazy fast, and I was really lucky to get this mug. So in here, I have got myself, I whipped up quite the latte. It's a decaf latte because I'm filming in the evening tonight, but it is a vanilla caramel latte with cinnamon sprinkled over the top. Can you see that deliciousness? That's what I'm drinking tonight for my beverage. Also my dessert, because it's after dinner. Oh, that hits the spot. Oh boy, that's a good one. All right, so I have had a super busy week. Lots of fun things happened this week. It was my 41st high school class reunion this weekend, so now you know exactly how old I am. But I had very little stitching time because of that, but still, I've got plenty of stuff to show you. Don't panic. But that was fun. Reconnected with lots of classmates that I haven't seen for years and years. Exchanged emails and Instagram accounts with people so that I can stay connected with those folks going forward. Just had a really, really wonderful time doing the high school class reunion. If you have one coming up, I hope you had as much fun as I did, because it was a complete and total blast. So that was one really super fun thing that happened for me this weekend. And I'm trying to think if there was anything else. It was probably just the class reunion, but it was great. All around great. So I'm not going to bore you with pictures of people that you probably don't know, but just know that I had a little bit less stitching this weekend because of that. And then yesterday I had absolutely no stitching. For those of you that have been here for a while, you know that I have a stent from my right kidney down to my bladder, and that has to get changed out every 3 months or so. Yesterday was my exchange, so I got no stitching done yesterday. I thought I would get home and I would sit on the sofa like the Queen of Sheba and stitch, and I slept like a mummy. So I didn't get any stitching done. So I basically had 2 days with no stitching, but that's okay. Hopefully the FFO'S will make up for my lack of stitching this week. So why don't we start with what I finished? I finished a little pillow, and I'm so excited to show you. So here it is, you guys. This is Trick or Treat. This is from Brenda Gervais, who is her company is With Thy Needle and Thread, and this is from her Jack-o'-lantern Jubilee book. And there's my backing fabric. I put the Lady Dot pumpkin colored trim, pom-pom trim on it, and I did something new, something I've never done before. I filled this with crushed walnut shells. Now, my pillow was really fat. I feel like I have overstuffed it, that I probably could have put at least a third less in here. It is really densely packed. Let me reach over here. I want to show you. So after I stitched the pillow all the way around on my sewing machine, I left about a 2.5 inch gap on the bottom, and then I just took this funnel, put it into the hole, and then I scooped up my walnut shells with this little cup, and I just filled it and filled it and filled it. Now, I was a little worried because I've never done walnut shells. I wanted to make sure that I had enough in the, up in the points. And so that was why I kept filling and filling it, because I kept thinking, well, when I've done, when I fold it close, I was afraid they would sink down, but it's, like I said, it's a really filled one. Like I said, I think I could do less, and I wouldn't have to worry about the points sagging. But then I also thought later on, I could have pre-stuffed the corners with a little fiber fill to make sure that doesn't happen. I might try that on my next pillow finish, because I kind of like the feel of those walnut shells squishing around in there as I'm touching it. It's kind of fun tactilely. And then when I closed up the bottom, I did put a little bit of fiber fill across the bottom so that the walnut shells didn't, I didn't know if they would leak out or not. And Anna, who is the stitch roadie, that's what she did when she showed a walnut shell finished pillow last week, the week before. I'll try to remember to link Anna's video so you can see her step-by-step directions for making the pillow, but I did what Anna did. And then I just stitched it closed, and then after that, then I took my pom-poms and I whipped them all the way around the edge. Now, pro tip here, because I did put fusible interfacing on both the cross-stitched piece and then the fabric piece, whip stitching through basically 4 layers of stuff is not fun. So I might get brave and I might try sewing the pom-poms, because it comes on twill tape, and just try sewing, catching that twill tape so I don't have to whip stitch it, and see how that goes. So my next pillow, I might try to be really daring and do that, and as opposed to whip stitching it on the outside. But I gotta tell you, the nice thing about that whip stitching on the outside is it's exactly where I want it to be. So that's the trade-off, is sometimes you don't exactly know what you're gonna get when you turn it inside out, or right side out, I mean. But anyway, here is my first FFO. So Trick or Treat from the Brenda Gervais Jack-o'-lantern Jubilee book, and I'm trying to remember now. I stitched it 1/2. It's on a 36 count linen. It's one of the fabric of the months by Brandy at BeStitchMe, and I think it was called Scroll. So I used all the called for flosses, nothing different. I didn't adjust anything. Oh, I'm a liar, pants on fire. My white little stitches here didn't show up all that great, so I did sub out B5200 DMC floss for the white. I'm trying to remember. what it was, the called for might have been whitewash. Don't quote me on that. But anyway, I know that I did sub out B5200 for my white because it didn't quite show up. So anyway, there you have it. That's my first finish. And my other 3 finishes are framed pieces that I took to the local framer. And if you give me half a second, I got my computer here. I want to look up the exact name of the place in case you're a local. I am in the Seattle area. I'm in the South Seattle area, and I took it to a place in Des Moines, Washington called Village Frame and Gallery. As you can see, I just Googled them. The gentleman who owns the shop, he has been framing things for over 20 years. He's also an artist, so the place is filled with his beautiful artwork. So even if you don't need anything framed, maybe you just want to buy some artwork, go down and see this guy. He was super, super nice. He has framed needlework before. I felt really comfortable leaving my stuff. I told you all about that on the previous video. So without further ado, let me show you my framed pieces. Okay, the first one I'm grabbing here is called Snapperville. These are all 3 of these are by Bent Creek. Let me back up so I can get the whole thing in the shot for you. Okay, doesn't that look great? Yeah, I mean, he did everything. He did the stretching. Look how well it's stretched, you guys. Yep, he did the stretching. Built the frame, put it on foam, acid-free foam core for me. It's just, look at that frame. Isn't that cool? I love that frame. So he did a great job, and then, bless him, I didn't even say, but he did the wire hanger on the back. I hate the sawtooth ones. I think those are ridiculous. You never can get it straight on your walls, but you can with this kind, and I just adore it. He did a fantastic job. So here you go. Here's a little close-up of my piece. All right, did we get it all? And then the saying across the bottom, because I'm wiggling it around in case you're curious, it said, "Teach us that we may feel the importance of every day, of every hour as it passes." I love this. So here is my first Bent Creek framed FFO. Okay, so here's the first one. Let me gently set this down so I don't do something awful and squish it. The second one, I've got to reach a little further, is Summer SnapperLand. So Summer SnapperLand, which you all know, was my first 25/7 stitch, where you pick a piece and you stitch on it 25 minutes a day. No, you stitch it on it 7 days a week and either 25 minutes a day or do 25 stitches. I was doing the 25 minutes a day. And here is Summer SnapperLand. Isn't that cute? Oh, I just love it. Look at that frame. Isn't that frame just the best? It's got a, as kind of like a silver tone to it, and then it's got, kind of a brushed green interior. I just adore this thing. Yep, there it is. Summer SnapperLand in all its glory. And the phrase on the bottom of this one says, "Turn your face to the sun and the shadows fall behind you." So there we are. That is FFO number 2, Summer SnapperLand. Cool. Okay, and then the last one is even further away, so I'm going to actually have to stand up and go get it. Okay, the last one is Gnomes in the Garden. So, Gnomes in the Garden, he actually talked me into glass because I did mats, and he thought that because I double matted it, he felt that maybe over time, you know, with humidity, because we're such a rainy climate, that the mats could potentially bow a little bit, and he thought the glass would keep it nice and straight and we wouldn't have to worry about that. So I went with his expert advice. So this one might be a little harder to see because it's under glass, but here is Gnomes in the Garden. And then you might notice I used the same frame on Gnomes as I did on Snapperville, because it just was perfect. And it was like, well, I don't care. You know, they might end up on the frame, the same wall, or they might not. And when a frame is perfect, you just have to go with it. So this one, oh my gosh, you guys, it is so much heavier to hold up with the glass and the mat. Look how well he did. He knocked it out of the park. Knocked it out of the park. So there are my 3 framed FFO'S. And let me tell you, I'll be back. I'll be back down there. He did a spectacular job. I have absolutely no complaints. As you can imagine, it wasn't inexpensive. But I felt like these are pieces that I will display in my home for years and years and years and years. They're more than just decor pieces for me. They're pieces that will probably be out year round. So I was happy. I was happy to spend the money, which sounds, you know, crazy, but there you have it. Okay, so let me put this guy away. So that's it. Those are my FFO'S, and I couldn't be happier. So now that I've showed off my finishes, why don't we talk about stitching? What did I stitch on this week? Well, why don't we start with my 25/7 piece? I am stitching, as we know, Something Wicked. And last week, I was just about here. I was just about done with all the laces, and I think I was right about there. So I got the majority of, you know, well, I got this bit done, right? And the heel is completely done. So now I have to start working on the big, long curl, because this thing goes all the way over here. And then, of course, there's all the words. So this is a piece by La-Di-Da, and I think I've got it. Yep, I've got it right here. Something Wicked by La-Di-Da. So, you know, I've got a long way to go to get the curl done on that shoe. And then, of course, I've still got the words, and I still have to put the sock, the striped sock in there. So I have really quite a bit of stitching still left on this one. I think I might have to do more than just 25/7 stitching on it if I want it finished and up for Halloween, which I absolutely do. In case you're new here, this is being stitched on a 35 count, I say that wrong every week, 35 count Havana colored fabric by Weeks. I'm pretty sure it's by Weeks. And I am stitching it in Anchor Black. So I was gifted a spool of Anchor Black, which you can now get. I believe it's Joann's is carrying Anchor on the spools, which is super fun. So Anchor Black, and then I'm using a Victorian motto. Rustic Pumpkin is going to be the dark stripe in my sock, and then Color and Cotton Apricot is going to be light stripe in the sock. So it's only 3 colors. Pretty fun, right? So that's where I've gotten to on my 25/7 stitching. And when I'm done filming, and this is uploading to YouTube, I might continue working on this because I'm starting to feel a little panic that it's not going to get done if I don't put a little extra effort into that guy. Okay, so that's the first whip that I worked on this week. The other whip that I worked on is one that I haven't pulled out in a long time. And we all know I'm doing whip go, but for some reason, after I finished my goal on one of my whip go pieces, and I'll show that next, I wasn't quite feeling my second whip go piece for whatever reason. So I broke out something that I haven't touched in months. So I decided to work on my Owl Forest Embroidery Hyperborea, and that was super fun to work on. Before I get going here, this is on a 32 count Zweigart Murano floss, and it's what's the color? It might be nothing more exciting than just light blue. But anyway, here's where I'm at on Hyperborea. And it had been a long time since I had worked on this guy. I still hadn't finished all of the stitching on this wing. So the owl's wings are done. I still have to put 3 little stitches in each eye to make the eyes pop, so there's a yellow that has to go in there. And then I just started working on the motif around the top of the owl's head. So that's what I got up to for a couple of days, was working on Hyperborea, which I don't know about you, but I pulled this out and I was like, oh yes, I like this piece. I need to spend more time stitching on this. And I gotta tell you, this fabric is so soft. I stitch in hand, as you know, and it's just soft and creamy. The floss just glides through it. I absolutely love working on this fabric. I'm going to have to make sure not to bury this in the bottom of my bookcase down there. I need to work on this a whole lot more than I am, because oh my gosh, you guys, I mean, look at all the great creatures in here. We've got the bobcat, we've got the polar bears, there's some seals in here. I mean, there's all sorts of fantastic things that I'm just dying to, stitch on this fabric. So Hyperborea isn't gonna disappear too far, but I do have to remind myself I am doing whip go, so don't let the whip go pieces go by. So the whip go goal I completed this week was my 5 days of stitching on my FriendStitch piece alphabet. So it's this pattern, and I am working down on the bottom with all that snow. And let me show you where I got to. Okay, so here we go. When last we met, I had just finished off the cardinals, and so I got a really good start on the snow on the bottom. And then once the snow is done, just finish off that border and it's finished. It's a finish. So I feel like I will definitely have this finished and ready for Christmas this year, which makes me super happy. So there is my FriendStitch piece. So what did 5 days of stitching get me? Well, it got me the snowflakes, all those scattered little snowflakes. It got me the 2 cardinals and it got me the bottom snow. Oh, and then I hadn't completely finished the border over here, so I got a good start on finishing the border. So what is my other whip go piece that I need to get a move on, right? Or as they say in the UK, I need to get a wiggle on it, right? It is over here. It's my Harbor Haven. So I need to break out Harbor Haven and get going again. So let me just show you where I'm at. So next week when we get together, you can see my progress. And what I discovered when I stopped stitching on it, and the reason I stopped was I've got something off up here. So I actually need to sit down and do a little investigating. I was stitching this while watching Ted Lasso, and Ted is way too funny and engaging. I cannot stitch while watching Ted Lasso because it's too fun. So I need to go and figure out where I'm off up in here so I can correct that and then make some progress. This is on 32 count seafoam colored linen, also by Weeks. Excuse me. Gosh, sorry about that. Look how long that fabric is, you guys. I need a great big huge piece because there are 12 of these to create Harbor Haven. So it will be quite an accomplishment when I get this guy done. So, excuse me, coughing again. Anyway, that was my stitching for the week, and I'm really happy with what I got done. Definitely better than the week before. Oh my gosh, I think the cinnamon from my beverage got me. Yikes! Maybe I'll have more beverage. See if I can flush it down. Okay, so that is what I've gotten up to. So my plans for next week are, okay, I am going to figure out my goof here on Harbor Haven and get going because for WhipGo, I thought my calendar was here. I think I still have 3 days to make my 5 days of stitching for my WhipGo goal. So definitely got to do that. I mean, it's already the 21st for crying out loud. So I've got to get caught back up on that. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to keep going on the FriendStitch, maybe hit Hyperborea again. And then I keep talking about bringing out Merry Notes, which I haven't done all month long. And it's kind of bugging me because I really want to get back to Merry Notes. So those are my goals. In terms of purchases, I didn't do much. I got my subscription to Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher, filled with goodness as they always are. Yeah, there's just so many great things. And this piece on the back, it turns out that's a punch needle piece. I was thinking, oh, I want to stitch that immediately. And then I opened it up and found out it was punch needles. I was like, oh, darn. Hey, whoever made this pattern, turn it into cross stitch. I'll stitch that for sure, because that couldn't be cuter, right? But I am not taking up a new hobby. Sorry, Teresa Kogan. I've got enough to do with stitching. I can't take up punch needle because then there'll be less time for stitching, and I already feel like I have not enough time for stitching. Okay, the other thing that I purchased, I was watching the Fat Quarter Shop. They are doing a series called Cross Stitch University, and they're just little videos, and I don't know how long they're going to go, but they're short little videos. They're teaching videos showing people how to go about cross stitching. I mean, everything from selecting your fabric to how do you get it ready to stitch on, how do you figure out how to start, The latest one talks about railroading your stitches if you're using 2 strands of floss. It's really super well done. But from there, I ended up watching Kimberly, who's the gal who is doing these videos, and she had a how do I get so much stitching done? And she had a video of herself sitting, I think it was in her bedroom. She's sitting on a sofa. She's got her light over her shoulder, and she's stitching away like a crazy woman. But what she showed was an answer to a problem I've been having, because I stitch in hand. I also have my light, and I've got like 3 little tables scattered around me holding all my bits and bobs. And Kimberly showed a lap desk. And in fact, she showed this exact lap desk. And she linked it on Amazon. And let me tell you, you guys, this little thing is perfect. It's got a hook. You know, it's got a little elastic here. I put my pattern there. I put my pen in there. She puts her iPad in there, but I put my pen, or, you know, my pencil, because, you know me, I write on my patterns. I put my little highlighter guide so I can find that if I need it. And then the pattern sits there. Sometimes I'll have my phone hanging there, but the fact that it just sits in my lap while I'm stitching and holds all my stuff is fantastic. My pattern's closer to me than sitting on the table. It works so well for me, and I thank you, Kimberly, not that you'll ever see this video, for showing us how you stitch, because I feel like this has made my stitching easier, and anything that makes stitching easier and more enjoyable, I'm all for. So, yep, I love this thing. So, I got my punch needle and primitive stitcher. I now have this cute little lap desk. I'm all set. Yep, I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled with how that is working for me. It just holds everything. It's really super great. I have to thank a viewer. I actually got some happy mail, and I think it's over on my desk right here. Hold on. Oh my goodness, you guys. If you could see my desk, you know why I'm having a problem. Well, let me just thank Bronnie. Bronnie, thank you. She sent me Victorian Motto black floss, a beautiful note, and I thank you, Bronnie, from the bottom of my heart for sending me those items. They are fantastic. I am thrilled to have them, and I thank you for your friendship, because that meant so much to me. So, thank you, Bronnie. Guys, that's all I have for you this week. I hope that you are finding time to stitch and get things done. Quick little life update. Couple of you are wondering how my parents are doing. It's the same story, but a different day. My mom is adjusting well. My dad is having a cow. He is not happy, which is making my sister and I question if this is really the right thing for them, because your last year shouldn't be filled with so much angst and anxiety and frustration. So, think good thoughts for us as we try to decide if this is not for them. And if it's not for them, what is for them? So, we're still helping the parents as best we can. We're not sure we have made the right choice. What do? You just, I mean, you try something. If it doesn't work, you know, try something else. So we might investigate home health care aids. And if we do that, there are 100 modifications we would have to make to their home, in starting with locking the basement so that my dad could not access the bottom floor of the house, because the last couple of times he's tried to go down the stairs, he's fallen. So that's where we're at with that. Okay, guys, thank you for listening to my FlossTube. I am thrilled that you're here. Have a great week. And as I like to say, stitch happy, my friends, and I'll see you soon next time. Okay, bye.